Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we are now hearing that PlayStation is finally striking back against the big hackers that happened as of yesterday or the past few days. We also have some brand new news when it comes to the brand new Gran Turismo, some other big PlayStation Plus brand new games coming out, some horrendous games too as well that are actually completely flopping, a lot of other various things too as well. So let's go and dive on into the video itself. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. If you guys are, I guess, just Twitch people, we actually are doing some fun sell stuff, and also the September stuff is ongoing up on Twitch. If you guys are bored, I'll have that link down below, or just want to click on it, hang out, you guys can. We have the Twitter and Twitch from down below as well. As I mentioned, of course, subscribe if you guys are new. Let's dive on. And that was probably the world's worst intro. It's like, hey guys, check out the Twitch, but also check out the Twitch, check out the Twitch. It's horrible. I'm starting to sell. Let's go dive into some good old news. So if you guys may or may not have missed it, we're also kind of seeing some folks as well getting somewhat upset at PlayStation right now, but there is a really big drama where Sony itself was and did get somewhat hacked. Now, we touched on this yesterday. It was kind of the big news story of yesterday too, but the one reverse on this is after PlayStation actually got hacked or kind of compromised, we are now having confirmation that Sony is launching an investigation after the ransomware group claims to have breached the company's systems. The data is still reportedly up for sale, and there's a few kind of funny things that we've kind of noted. When it comes to the data itself, some folks are stating that Sony should literally just go and make an alternate account, like alternate basically payment system or whatever over here, to then go and just buy out the information and just not have it leaked, which in theory is probably one of the smartest things I can say. Depending on how much money they're trying to go and charge in the first place, let's say $1 million or whatever it might be, it might actually just be worthwhile for them just to go and pony up that money, get a random guy, wire transfer some random scary looking dude, and have him show up with some really big briefcase and kind of swap out data. But that's one big thing to note, is that people are actually somewhat upset about this, mainly because number one, we don't really necessarily know too much on what has actually been leaked. We're not sure if it's brand new information, we're not sure if it's brand new consoles, updates, music, movies, or whatever it might be, or even consumer data. Now, a lot of folks are assuming it's not consumer data because their kind of frontward facing statements haven't been so bad or haven't been like so worrisome. But one of the bigger things I think to go and note is that, well, no one really knows. So if you guys kind of really quick recap in case you guys missed it, basically Sony did actually have a big public call out over here by Ransom VC. Now, they basically have said on their own official channels, stating that they actually have successfully compromised all of Sony's systems, which would include PlayStation, and as well as also been clear on both the clear and dark net. So think public, like think Twitter, or think like darknet, this is so hard to say, as anything else. So as reported by all their cybersecurity connect, they're saying we won't want to ransom them, although their name is ransom.vc. They want to sell the data that was leaked, and then Sony apparently does not want to play ball and did not want to pay. And so they're basically being like, hey, instead of us being blackmailed, we're just going to release it if you want, who cares? Although no one really knows what this information has been. So they go and say that there's been over 6,000 files. We touched on this yesterday, and they describe this cache of data as small relative to the all of Sony's systems claim. So it may not be as big as expected, hopefully, mainly because we don't want to lose access to all this information. I have said before, I don't mind because I would like to make more brand new videos on it if I could. I wouldn't mind at all. But the part two of that is that, well, Sony doesn't want to have things spoiled or leaked or movies leaked. Some people care about the spoils, etc., so I can't blame you guys too much. And they did go and say on September 28th that if they do not have a buyer, they'll just go and release the information. Now, we did go and have Sony respond to this, though. They have said we are currently investigating the situation, and as of right now, they have no further comment at the time. But the part two of that is, although they're saying that they have no comment at the time, they also are trying to go kind of launch this counter attack. Now, I'm mainly using this information from like my expertise, quote unquote, and maybe like crypto, where they sometimes can see people who have actually like downloaded files, internal like maybe backlogs. Maybe one of you guys are IT might understand a little bit more than me. I'm kind of dumb, but there's kind of a way to go and see like who actually accessed maybe the systems on the day that they're claiming that they like lost the leak. Maybe go through internal things to see who actually has the access availability in the first place. So let's go and say there's 100 people who have a chance to do that. Then you can maybe go do them like call into their like computers. Maybe if IT has like maybe keyloggers, or if like old access information can check like what websites they were utilizing. If they also downloaded stuff on like Slack or email or at home systems, like there is somewhat of a way to go track this, and I'm sure it's more intensive than I know because I just never done it myself. But I'll keep you guys in the loop for all this stuff. It has seemed very intriguing that Sony is now striking back. They're going to try to find more information on the hackers. It does seem like they're trying to go a little bit more, and they do want to investigate after all this stuff. So they actually have gone public. So it does seem like there is a lot more merit to this hack, because whenever Sony or a big company responds to it, that adds a lot more, at least in my opinion. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments on this still. Now, we also have some kind of intriguing stuff over here. That Gran Turismo, as I'm sure you guys know about the game, but also movie, has actually been somewhat of a commercial success. Now, it's not the biggest or most crazy movie so far, but it has actually turned a profit. No, we actually have had a pretty good stint, I would say, of a lot of movie, video games, and shows, especially PlayStation. Once again, think like Last of Us was pretty good. People are excited for the God of War show. Maybe also think Uncharted, which is technically, in the IP for PlayStation. And those have also done really well, but so far it does seem like the movie has done $110 million worldwide, and I do believe the budget was around half of that so far. So that's really, really, really good. Now, mainly the international market usually is bigger, so think you could even see the numbers. $69 million versus $42 million in domestic, and it makes a good sense. And apparently people still like the movie. I thought the movie was pretty solid, pretty good. You guys can kind of look through the overall statistics for the worldwide. So like say like the United Kingdom, $3 million, good opening weekend. Some of the other like middle places like Slovenia, South Africa, Croatia, a little bit on the smaller side, but they're still getting some movies watching over there too as well. And of course, always like to look at places like Japan, which is also, don't forget, PlayStation based, Hong Kong, etc. Like we'll probably see these kind of go and bolster up more over time, or as people kind of dive into like DVDs or other various sales. But either way, it's kind of showing up that, well, things are good. People are kind of happy about this type of stuff. People are, pogging, etc. Now, going back to the PlayStation thing, too, I do want to remind folks that some folks actually were upset that they actually weren't really spending the money where they really wanted to. Now, they have also said that there's no indication for consumer data. I've kind of highlighted that, but there's also no indication that it hasn't. I'm assuming that they would have did a bigger, warning or warning post if it did. But they're saying, hey, if you want to raise the prices on PlayStation Plus or games to $70 or consoles, we kind of want to see you put a little bit more effort into making sure our data is safe, making sure Sony's data is safe. It's kind of like hey, we just rose the prices, and a week later you're getting hacked. It's just not a good vibe, and people don't necessarily appreciate that. At the end of the day, I've kind of seen a lot of other various folks kind of say this on Twitter, on Reddit, on either other various article websites, and other just people, my peers, where it is kind of disappointing because you kind of have a bad PR right now in PlayStation just overall, and people aren't the most happy in regards to it. And I'm kind of in the same exact boat where I'm like, well, it's cool, I like the idea of it, but I don't know, you got to do a little bit better. Either way, people are a little bit upset on that one. Now, there's also, funny enough, a part 2, or if you guys want to see the PlayStation Plus Essential games have actually been leaked as well for October, so the upcoming few months, and they're actually pretty good as well. Now, one of the bigger issues I would say, too, is once again, for some odd reason, people are upset kind of at PlayStation for having the Callisto Protocol. Now, I actually kind of like the Callisto Protocol. I beat the game. Could it have been better? I would say yes. Does it still remind me of Dead Space? Yes. But I'll be honest, I think I actually enjoyed the Callisto Protocol better than the Dead Space remake. I think that might be a hot take. I don't know. But I did like the idea of something like a brand new story. I did also like the idea that the game did kind of seem to run a little bit better and was a little bit more smoother. I liked it. I overall gave it a thumbs up. So it's kind of funny to go and see that people are kind of upset. We saw some folks that were not happy with this decision. Some folks are not happy with everything else, which is kind of funny because I think I'm okay with this. Same with PlayStation Plus too as well. If you get it for cheaper or have to work into your premium or whatever, it's not too bad. Now, Farming Sim though. I'm not someone who wants to go knock on Farming Sim. I've always loved Farming Sim. I think they're actually a few years late on this one too as well, because the game did come out the prior year. It's kind of like the car system where you have new cars, they come out a little bit later, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, I can't complain. Farming Sim, most of those games are very similar. Having Farming Sim 22 is probably going to be fine. Same thing too as well when it comes to Callisto Protocol. I think that's a win. Some folks are not the happiest about it. I'm not sure why, because I'd rather have Callisto Protocol than most random indie games, and I do think the game itself is a fun game overall. So these are the current leaks in case you guys are curious. If there is a proper confirmation soon, we'll let you guys know, but for whatever reason, these PlayStation Plus things are usually, I don't know, kind of like this. I don't know. Anyways, it could be kind of okay. And that's what at least a lot of folks are even saying on how bad the Payday 3's launch has gone so badly. So it says that basically they're looking for the possibility now of even an offline mode. So, Payday 3's matchmaking still broken, driving Steam reviews down to mostly negative. A lot of folks are still unhappy with this one. We can maybe round this up to just an overall people are not happy in general. And yeah, just a lot of folks are saying this game has not gone well. There's a big mostly negative. I did not like it. I played the demo, and the demo was so bad that I didn't even want to go and play it up afterwards too. So I don't know. I think it really was kind of a lackluster thing. I don't know. It just feel bad. People are upset about this, especially the PlayStation users. People on PlayStation Blue were basically not able to play the game. They didn't have their updated version. They didn't have the premium version. Everything with it was a disastrous effect. It was horrible. And they did make some statements saying they're going to be running into errors, and there's other various issues on matchmaking. They're trying to fix it. At a certain point, if you wasted money on early access and you never got it, people are upset. Or if the same reverse side too, if you guys, just can't play the game you paid money for, you're going to be upset. Game Pass wasn't as bad. I have my Game Pass running. I've checked out the game and whatever, but they're even saying we're disappointed in the issues our player base have faced during our launch weekend, but they're confident in our core product and the quality of Payday 3 as well. So maybe they'll keep on going better over time. We'll have to see. Make sure you guys go stream on the Twitch if you guys want me doing some fun, solid stuff. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you guys are new, or leave a like, your comments and thoughts down below, and I appreciate you all so much for watching here in the first place.